is the way they'll basically put any conceivable tune over the top of that. I mean, they will literally play anything they want over the top of that. One thing I like to do to demonstrate this, is I do have a bass line and a melody at the same time, is something like this. So that's the idea of bass and melody at the same time. Now, at the moment I'm still playing very much down in the open position. Someone said to Chet Atkins once, why is so much country guitar played down in the open position? And he said, because that's where the money is, which I think is a great quote. But of course, you start breaking out the open position. You keep this Travis picking system in place. Then you can move it at the fretboard. And the whole thing becomes a lot more detailed. So anything you play with the Travis picking system can be played in the open position, or can be played all over the fingerboard. And that's a great style to get into if you're playing self-accompaniment, because you always have that bass line going, palm muting the bass line, as detailed as you want to. It's this sort of illusion of solo and rhythm at the same time. So Travis picking is a fantastic style to get into. I mean, some people like Chet Atkins take the early Travis picking system and develop it a lot more. I'll play something which has got a bit more detail in it, really. And I'll play some of the Chet Atkins techniques here as well. Thank you. So with that kind of playing, it's a lot more self-contained. It's a lot more about the solo guitar than just about the self-accompaniment side of thing. If you've heard Tommy Emmanuel, all those guys, then you've seen that thing done all over the place. On the flip side, you have the lead guitar side of country, which is a different thing again. What I'd like to show you here are some of the real shortcuts to how to get some of those licks in place, and some of the techniques that are also involved with those kind of licks. And I think a lot of guitar players are drawn towards country because it's fast, primarily. And that doesn't have to be the case. There's a lot of great country which isn't at the higher beats per minute. But some of the tricks that these guys are using, when you hear the classic sounds, if I play some of the sort of the cliche country licks, and I'll deconstruct exactly what's going on behind them. So we've got that kind of thing, which is your sort of your standard, your stock lick in G. It sounds like there's a lot going on. Really, a lot of country guitar soloing is based around a handful of scales. And when you've got these scales under your fingers, it opens up the sound of it a lot more. The key scale that I was really using there was really, although I'm in the key of E, in the key of G, sorry, I was playing something called the G country scale. Has anybody here played a blues scale before? Anybody ever played a blues scale in any key? If I played a blues scale in E, it's very much a sort of a standard blues sound. Everything's pulling towards that E minor. If I shift now, instead of starting from the E, if I shift from the second note, the G, you see how the pull now is towards the major, it's towards G. It stops sounding so much like blues and starts to sound more like country. So do it again slowly. It's a very different sound from where I started. Back to country. So what's happening there is I'm just emphasising different notes. If I was playing over this sort of backing, then you sort of think about these kind of licks. Mostly built around that scale. Just built around these notes. For those that like the theory side of things, it's a G, which is the root, A is the major second, B flat's the minor third, B's the major third, D's the fifth, E's the sixth, and then back to the G. There's another variation on that where you add in one more note. So if I do this, all I've added in is an F, but it's got a little bit more character. So the sound changes a little bit, so now I've got G, A, B flat to B, open D string, there's the E, and finally to the F. What that gives me is an even set of notes as well, so I can think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Throwing a note at the top. All that's coming from the open position. It's got that country sound, it's got that sort of twang to it. And it's all based around that small set of notes in one position. Now obviously that moves up the fingerboard. If I'm playing in C, down thinking more around here. Same scale shape, just transposed up the fingerboard. Again, if you're thinking about blues, totally different sounds, all through the phrasing. Country, same notes, change the phrasing. So what's important in terms of using these scales that apply to different kinds of music is the phrasing aspect of things. It's what you actually do with the note, how you actually play the note, what techniques you use. A couple of very big techniques in country. Has anybody heard of something called chicken picking? Doesn't mean you go down to Sainsbury's and you spend some time in the frozen food aisle. Chicken picking is actually a very percussive way of playing. What it means is you're basically only playing about 70% of the notes that you're going for. So if I do some chicken picking in A, if I just play a phrase, so the second time I was chicken picking, I was playing some of the notes percussively, just taking the pressure off the fretting hand, and it gives me that different sound immediately, as opposed to So chicken picking is a massive, massive technique to get to grips with the country. The thing with chicken picking is when you learn someone else's solo, it's incredibly difficult because you've got to basically play the notes that they don't play, which is a really weird concept. So someone's deliberately not playing notes, therefore you have to deliberately not play them. A good way of playing the chicken picking is to do what I was just doing there, is just take a short phrase and then choose, say, the second note so you got that percussive element in there, just taking the pressure off the fretting hand. And that's the kind of effect you get. Now a guitar player like Albert Lee will take that sort of lick and then put it in a more complicated format. So he'll take a phrase like this, where he's picking every single note, but then he'll put some muted notes in there as well. So the chicken picking effect now becomes. So the first three notes are the muted strings. Percussive effect, then the notes. That's a great lick to learn. I mean, it's one of the stock Albert Lee licks. 3 muted notes, 3 muted notes, 3 again, and then 2 open notes at the end.